Welcome back to the Friday Night Spot Show. Trae, what the hell? It's been a while.
Yeah, the territory's been down, so we haven't been running spot shows.
Uh, uh, one of us had to go to Las Vegas a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
What the
one
hell?
of one
Put,
of
putting
us.
uh putting their own personal interest ahead of the podcast. And by the way, I still didn't press the button to actually time how far ahead into the show until we press play. So I'm just, oh Lord, what can we say? Anyway, we're going to be talking about NWA World Championship Wrestling, November 2nd, 1985. It's the first episode that's on the WCW YouTube page. And I don't know what that random noise that keeps playing, but hopefully it stops. Um, but let's go ahead and press play, and we'll go from here.
So this is a couple weeks before Starrcade.
Correct. And I press play,
Okay,
and nothing is happening.
I see that.
Up there we go.
See,
Jimmy Valiant is dropping an elbow on a jobber and won. And this is how they usually open the show. They would open the show airing a clip from something else that happened. And it looks like Jim Cornette, the Midnight Express are in. It's a Mid-South invasion. Oh,
ah, oh.
uh, I guess Cornette took his dress off this week. And speaking of men in a dress, Miss Atlanta Lively was there.
Oh, one of the first of this era tapes that I ever saw was the Starrcade. I randomly picked it up at, a video rental store in about, probably like 2001 or so. At the time, it would have been the oldest wrestling I had ever seen.
Let's play the intro here with Shivani
Welcome to World
and David
Championship
Crockett.
Wrestling. I'm David Crockett. Tony Schiavone. Tony, we've got an exciting program for you. Remember, the Superstation Championship Challenge Series pits. Superstar Billy Graham against Abdullah the Butcher. Plus, you have that arm wrestling against the Barbarian.
Tony's mustache.
That's right, David, that arm wrestling contest today. And also, we will have an update on Starrcade 85, the gathering, an event everybody is talking about, coming up very, very
That's right.
soon.
Wait till you hear what's going to be on there. It's got to be it.
And also, here today, an update from Dusty Rhodes and his doctor, Dr. Joseph Estwanik, about the injury to Dusty Rhodes, and an interview we have with Nature Boy Ric Flair, the World Heavyweight Champion. We haven't talked to him in a couple of weeks. We want to have a few words from him.
That's right. Plus, Magnum TA is here, the Rock and Roll Express, the Russians, and it just goes on and on.
The U.S. Heavyweight Champion, Tully Blanchard with Baby Doll, the Perfect 10. The list goes on and on of the people here today. Also here today, Billy Jack Haynes will be
That's
here
right.
on World Championship Wrestling. But, David, you mentioned Magnum TA, and I mentioned Tully Blanchard with Baby Doll. The feud, the battle these two men have gone through, it has to end somewhere.
That's right. It has to.
Where could it
Right
possibly
there.
end?
This is the last match that they had. Now, this match has been going on for...
All right. So, yeah, we're just going to mute it for here. Abdullah the Butcher versus Superstar Billy Graham.
That's
I,
that probably main evented in some territories at various times and places, right? You'd have to think.
I'd imagine so. I imagine Dusty was sitting backstage with a dartboard and threw some darts at some names and got Superstar Billy Graham versus Abdullah the Butcher.
And this is Karate Billy Graham, right?
Yes, it is. Karate. I actually, now that you say that, I'm not 100% sure if he was Karate Billy Graham here in Mid-Atlantic or if he was the Hulk Hogan ripoff. That just pissed off three people.
Oh,
Uh,
uh, of all
but
the
yeah,
shit that you've said, that might be the most absurd.
yes. I was gonna say Jesse Ventura ripoff, but I'm like, that's not absurd enough. You know, I
And
think we
I
told this
didn't.
this. Mhm, go ahead.
Okay. Number one, I did not know that Billy Jack Haynes was here at this time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I think we told the story on this podcast before. Uh, Baby Doll. Now,
Uh-huh.
standards in 2025 and standards in 1985 are two very different things. However, Baby Doll was not Tully Blanchard's perfect 10 because they were hiring a beautiful, statuesque woman. It was a joke because she was bigger than Tully Blanchard, and that in this era, it was not considered something that people were into to see large women, as sex
Yeah.
symbols. It's like, and it's hard to explain that to people, especially nowadays. It's like she's not there because she was hot and sexy and big and whatnot. She was there because it was a joke, because she was big.
Tully is like the one motherfucker who could make that work.
Yeah. And then fucking Dusty. It's like I always love this story that because she wanted to continue to sleep with her husband, Sam Houston, Dusty demoted her from managing him to managing Larry Zbyszko. Like,
Yeah.
dude, you're fucking married. Like, really? Go home and sleep with your wife if you're that horny.
By the way, for the
And
record, Nicola Roberts, very beautiful woman.
oh, definitely. But actually, around this time, I think she was actually with Buddy Landell because he used to
Oh.
tell the story, yeah, that he would be rooming with Tully Blanchard, but he'd be fucking her in his bed while Tully would be in the next bed, and he'd be all pissed off. Uh,
Oh, was Tully not getting tail before the Horseman started?
who knows? By the way, Manny Fernandez just beat. Who did he beat? Was it
Tommy
Tommy
Lane,
Lane? Yeah, we're really paying attention. He won. You know what they called that move? The flying forearm.
the
They
flying
called it
burrito.
yeah, the flying burrito. It's like that is legitimately what they called it. It's not us being racist.
Okay, so
And
I heard Tito Santana doing it in the early '90s. I heard it referenced as the flying jalapeno like many years ago, and then later in like the mid 2000s when Shawn Michaels started doing that spot all the time, they called it the flying burrito, and I was like, well, that's kind of shitty, and I didn't realize that it was called the flying
Not
burrito way
winning
back
his career
here.
between Dusty Rhodes.
so Ric
He
Flair promo,
has
we're
been
gonna
out
listen to this.
celebrating, thinking that he put Dusty out of wrestling. But Dusty is going to be back November 3rd, Mr. Flair.
David, contrary to what you might believe, I've been defending the most prestigious trophy in all of professional sports around the world, from Tokyo to Cleveland, Ohio, to Greensboro, North Carolina, to Chicago, Illinois. I've been defending what you people out there know to be the World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship, because I am the world champion, just one, and I'm the man. And David, if you're going to jump on Dusty Rhodes' bandwagon, that's fine with me. It doesn't upset me at all. You see, you seem to forget. Now, you're interviewing me. You seem to forget that I'm a very intelligent man. College educated. My father, one of the greatest physicians in the whole state of Minnesota. So I know that Dusty Rhodes, regardless of the rumor, and the rumor right now is that he's going to wrestle November 3rd in Atlanta, I know it's medically impossible for him to compete in the toughest sport in the world, professional wrestling, with a broken foot. There's no way it's mended. Look at Keith Byers, the great All-American tailback of the Ohio State Buckeyes. He came back, and they carried him off the field yesterday versus the Minnesota Gophers. So Dusty Rhodes and David Crockett and anybody else out there that doesn't think Ric Flair got the job done, think about Keith Byers, because he was going to be the Heisman Trophy winner. And now he's just another guy looking, hoping to come back in the future. Dusty Rhodes, if you make the mistake, let's be real honest with each other, if you make the mistake of thinking that you're Ric Flair, or the man that Ric Flair is, November 3rd in Atlanta, Georgia, or any place you decide to try and get in that ring, I'm going to be right there personally. And I'm going to be laughing, I'm going to be gloating, and you're right, I'm going to be partying and driving the women wild. Because when I set my mind to do something, it gets done. And only Gene Anderson and Ric Flair, woo, we know what it takes to be a man in a man's sport. So Dusty Rhodes and David Crockett, and you tell your brother and every other promoter around the world today that if they want, woo, the custom-made, kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing, limousine-riding, jet-flying son of a gun, known to the wrestling world as the greatest wrestler alive with 2 good legs. If you got the money, honey, baby, woo, I got the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to...
Okay, probably goes without saying here. Fantastic promo there by Ric Flair.
Okay, I realize that I'm honing in on the wrong part of that promo, but I realized that Richard Flair attended college. How much do you think Ric Flair learned at college? Like, do you think he ever went to a class?
I don't think he went to many of them. What made you think of that?
I don't know. It's just I'm just imagining Ric Flair at college. Like, I'm pretty sure that's where he learned how to be Ric Flair.
Oh, definitely, because he was roommates with the guy who owns the Chicago Blackhawks,
Yeah,
MacArthur.
the guy he always calls the General, MacArthur. Yeah.
Yeah. And I noted 2 things. First, he defends the title around the world from Tokyo, Japan to Cleveland, Ohio. Huh. One of these things is not like the other ones. One of these things doesn't belong. And then the other one was, who did he say were his teammates? He said Ole and Gene Anderson.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yes, it is not Gene, it is Arn.
I see that.
So this is after the point, obviously, when the 3 of them break Dusty's ankle in Atlanta in the cage, but before the 4 Horsemen are officially a thing.
Yeah.
Because they don't even really have a loose alliance with Tully Blanchard at this point. And in fact, the reason why JJ ends up in the group is because JJ, I think, is managing Tully at this point.
Yeah, he is. Okay, I knew about the famous angle in the cage where they break Dusty's leg, and I knew about Starrcade 85, but I think until just now I never connected the two and realized that the one was that they were the same angle.
Yeah. And so the funny thing is, the famous Hard Times promo was a week before this show on Mid-Atlantic Wrestling.
Oh.
And I don't know if it's this week or next week, but Dusty does a WCW Saturday night version of the Hard Times promo.
Yes.
We'll see if it happens this week. So Buddy Landell versus Tony Zane. Good old Budrow is here, with JJ Dillon, and I don't know how he ends up with Tully. It's because Tully's with Baby Doll right now, and it's kind of wacky, and Buddy's about to win the figure 4, and Buddy, he has his famous moment in a month where they were going to shoot an angle with him and Flair, and then he had an 8-ball of Coke on the way to a Saturday night taping and refused to get the hell out of his hotel room and go to the show, and got fired for it.
How much credence do you give that story?
He didn't get fired for doing the 8-ball. He got fired for no showing. Or are you talking about the Flair part?
The Flair, the idea that Buddy was either going to get the world title or he was going to get a big program with Flair.
I'm going to play this
Buddy
promo and then
Landell,
we'll come
I'm
back.
sure a top contender for all the major titles in the NWA.
Well, you have to set goals, you have to achieve the goals and move on to bigger and better things. Maybe I made a mistake at some point along the way with preoccupying myself with Nature Boy Ric Flair and the World's Heavyweight Championship, and in order to show that we are valid contenders, apparently we have to take another short step in between. Obviously, the national title held by Terry Taylor would be the obvious move to make, and that's where I've got my sights set. We're talking about a big event. We're talking about a gathering that's the talk of the entire wrestling world. And I'm issuing a challenge right here and now that an integral part of that thing certainly would be a national heavyweight title match. And if Terry Taylor will put his name on the contract, it's a foregone conclusion that I will sign on behalf of Nature Boy Buddy Landell, because frankly up to now, if I've been guilty of anything, I've been guilty of being too nice. And I told Landell today, let's not go out there and prance anymore. Let's not go out there and press the women. Let's beat some people up till we get the contracts we want. And today's the first example of what we're going to do. We're going to go out, hurt people, and we're going to hurt them in quick fashion.
You know, Tony Schiavone, JJ told me, no more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm sick and tired of coming out on nationwide TV and beating these guys that can't even lace my boots. But if that's the way the promotion wants to have it, if they want to have these guys beat up, then that's good. That's the way it's going to be. Terry Taylor, I'm looking for you. Starrcade, The Gathering, any place else, it don't make any difference. I'm the Nature Boy, and I'm going to be the new National Heavyweight Champion.
Nature Boy Buddy Landell, James.
So, to answer your question from earlier, I think they would have shot the angle with him and Flair, but I don't think he would have gotten the world title. I think it would have been like, I don't say Flair's Challenger of the Month, but just another guy that Flair feuded with.
Yeah, because this was that time that Flair, I mean, the world champion was feuding with the world. This is kind of like, I feel, I haven't seen a lot, but when Brian and Vinny were reviewing these shows several years ago, I was listening to those. And it feels like, as far as the world title scene, that's kind of the ideal for how a world title scene should be booked, I think.
Yeah. Where it's like you just have a lot of challengers and potential challengers. Like in the ring right now, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, they both get world title matches against Flair. They do actually a pretty strong angle with Morton at one point, where they rub his face into the floor and bloody him up, and leads, I think, to matches at the Great American Bash next year.
Yeah, that cage match, I think Greensboro's a hell of a match.
Yeah. Shockingly, Ricky Morton and Ric Flair had a good match.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
What I think would have happened with Buddy Landell and Flair next month, and I don't know the exact timing of it, so I could be wrong, I could be off. But one day, I think it's the Christmas episode, they do a match between Ric Flair and Ronnie Garvin on TV for the world title that goes like 25, 30 minutes. And I'd bet that was supposed to be Buddy Landell's spot.
Oh, you think?
I would think so. I mean, because it was around that time that they were going to shoot the angle. And so it kind of would have made sense that they shoot the angle like the week before and then do the match the week after. And I could be wrong. I'd be getting my timing all off here, but it sounds right.
Did Garvin beat Flair on TV in a non-title match around this time, or
I don't know. And hey, maybe it's a non-title match and Garvin wins, but I think the Christmas is a world title match and Flair wins. But I'm
not doubting you. I'm just trying to remember if that was the thing.
I don't know, like, because Flair did not wrestle much on TV. Like he wrestled more than Hogan would, for instance, but I mean, he didn't wrestle that much. And like even then, like he's not losing to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And not saying Ron Garvin is a Tom, Dick, or Harry, but if he loses this week to Ronnie Garvin, who does he lose to next week, kind of thing.
It's kind of a shame. Ron Garvin was like super over as a babyface during this period, and they didn't strike while it was hot with him, and when they did strike with him, like it was all like Dusty was still booking in late in '87, right?
Oh yeah, he was there till the end of '88.
That almost seemed like spiteful to Ron.
Honestly, and the part of the issue was you go back and watch those shows. Leading up to Garvin winning the world title, he was booked like the really good Ron Garvin that if you go back and watch, it's like, man, this guy, like, why do people hate him as world champion? And then he comes out on TV as world champion. It's not just, oh, he has Flair's belt. He has this, he has that. Like, he was so not Ron Garvin. Like, he was not acting like he normally would. He wasn't wrestling. Like, they said, like, he wasn't going to defend the title at all until Starrcade. So, like, he's going to go 2 months without title matches. Like, he didn't have to wrestle Flair. There's a dozen guys in the fucking company who could have been wrestling on house shows in world title matches. Like Tully. We're watching a Tully promo right now with Baby Doll. He could have
Yeah.
been fucking, wrestling Tully, but nope, we can't
Was
have that.
was that the US title? That silver thing?
Yeah, yes. Let's go to Bob Geigel because I think he has a
Bob
big announcement
Geigel.
here.
For
Okay.
a U.S. heavyweight title match was special I Quit rules. Now, the
Oh.
challenge is aimed at Tully Blanchard, the current champion. You know, Magnum TA held the title. The special I Quit rules, it's so rugged and they're so liberal, it's probably one of the most dangerous matches in professional wrestling today. I cannot allow this match to take place. The feeling is so bad between these two athletes. There is so much hatred that I am not going to sanction a match of this nature with two people with a feeling as strong as it is, running as high as it is. No, Magnum TA, I will not grant you permission for this match.
There you have the words of the president of the National Wrestling Alliance, Bob Geigel. No sanction for the I Quit match. I guess it's just gone beyond the realm of sportsmanship when you get to this kind of rule, Bob.
That's right. The match would be too dangerous, and I cannot allow it.
He's the president of the National Wrestling Alliance. His ruling is final. From the headquarters of the National Wrestling Alliance, this is Rick Stewart and President Bob Geigel.
Okay, Rick. When you think about it, like, how stupid is that really? Like, these
Very,
two hate each
very.
other so much, we're not going to have them wrestle each other.
Well, it's like the match is too dangerous, but why is it more dangerous than if you just book them and say like a no disqualification match? Like in theory, wouldn't that be? I don't know. That's dumb.
Because
Well,
I
it's a
guess in
shame.
theory,
It's a shame that one of the greatest I Quit matches of all time isn't going to happen now. Thank you, Bob Geigel, you
I,
dick.
I,
I love that
I
match, and
know.
now it's never going to happen.
Um, it's like it's so weird. I guess like you could make the excuse that if it's a no disqualification match, you could still win by pinfall. So in theory, the match could be over really quickly, and in theory, much quicker than would take for a submission.
Well,
Like with a submission, you still like people are going to like go an extra ounce. They're going to go a little harder to, avoid submitting. I don't know. I'm like coming up with a really bad excuse here.
I mean,
Billy Jack Haynes is taking on Black Cat, and Black Cat is an African
that is
American gentleman.
that is not Victor Marr. That is not the more famous Black Cat.
No, no, no. It is not Victor Mara with a really good tan either.
No,
Oh Lord. Billy Jerk Haynes just
Billy
ripping
Jerk
around here.
Haynes.
Yes.
Oh,
Uh,
that motherfucker's crazier than a rainbow trout in a car wash.
yep. That's a good way to put it. Um, I wonder how his well, I guess I didn't just get arrested, but he got arrested not terribly long ago. Didn't he murder his wife or
Oh
something?
yeah. Oh yeah. I heard that, and then haven't heard. That was like what, maybe 6 months ago. He's
Maybe. But yeah, I mean the
yeah,
court system moves really fucking slowly. I mean
yeah.
the Cain Velasquez situation just ended, and that was like 3 years ago.
Oh, what was the I didn't hear about this. What was the
Well,
verdict
that
there?
that was when that guy was having sex with all the children that he was
Yeah.
supposed to be
Yeah, I know
babysitting.
I know what
Oh,
the case was. What was
oh,
the
um,
resolution?
he's getting some time in jail, and I think like a lot of time in whatchamacallit, probation and all that. Like,
Dude, he is gonna be the fucking man in jail. Like he's probably gonna have as good
yeah,
a time as you can have in jail. Because number one, he's like Cain Velasquez and he's a badass, but number two, he beat up a chomo that's gonna make him a fucking hero.
it's funny because he didn't even beat up the Chomo. He beat up, or he shot the father because the father was trying to, I don't know what the hell he was doing, but he was like fleeing with the son. And Cain
Oh,
Velasquez was trying to shoot the son, but shot the father.
well, hey, good for him.
Yeah,
It would be better if he were a better shot, but he
yeah.
tried. If you're
Cain,
fleeing
Cain,
with your if you're fleeing with your child molester son, you're probably not a good person either.
Cain Velasquez, we salute you.
We do.
Uh, Billy Jerk Haynes is just having like a very boring match, which is saying something because like it's
Well,
sick. Like these guys are not getting 20 minutes to have a match. They're going to get 4 minutes, uh, and they're managing to do several lengthy chin locks, which tells you everything you need to know about Billy Jerk Haynes. And I think he just won with a suplex. No, 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 the Black
oh,
Cat did kick out of the suplex, so maybe he'll
that
break out
was
the
a
full
nice
Nelson.
looking suplex. Credit where credit's due.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But this is 1985, not 1955. You don't win with a suplex.
Where did I just see somebody win with the? Well, did it happen on World Class last week? That like when they fucked up a finish
Possibly.
and then did a suplex? Doing like the one of Max's matches that they fucked up whatever they were trying to do. Or, maybe I'm
Probably. And there's the
there's the
full
full
Nelson.
Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But actually, Victoria beat Trish Stratus for the women's title at Survivor Series 2002 with a suplex.
I remember that. Yeah,
But I think it was on a trash can though, so it wasn't,
it was. It
quite.
was on a trash
Yeah,
can.
yeah. And I loved Victoria, and that was approximately around the time that my love of non-blondes happened. Because like I don't know, I started hating blondes. And so, like if you came out as a brunette or with black hair, I loved you. Like Molly Holly, loved her. Victoria, loved her.
I've always liked brunettes.
Yeah, indeed.
Have
Staying
you ever
right here
seen
for the
like?
best wrestling around.
Did you see that pay-per-view live? Or see a tape of the original broadcast?
Survivor Series '02.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had one. I had it. By the way, going to Joseph Estwanik right now with Tony
Okay.
Schiavone.
Joseph Iswanik, Medtronic Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinic. He said that he would come back on November 3rd to wrestle once again. Dr. Swanik, question is, can Dusty come back on November 3rd?
He's been making satisfactory progress in his rehabilitation and been working hard at that. And it's his desire that he go and give it a try. So that because he is making good progress, I think it's very reasonable that he finally go ahead and try.
Well, that date is certainly approaching us, and as you know, his progress is coming along quite well. We understand from talking to Dr. Swanik before we were on the air here today. We understand, Dr. Swanik, the cast that was initially put on is now off.
That's right.
And he has a different type cast on. Why don't you tell us about that cast?
What we've switched him to is a fairly new invention over the last several years called an air cast. And it's a reinforced fiberglass cast that prevents his ankle from turning in like it did initially, and has a inflatable bag on either side that allows the swelling to be controlled. So that our goal is to allow him to participate in this much like a professional basketball player or football player, to allow function and yet still provide protection.
Okay, now in front of us here are, if you take a look at this, the boot on the right of your screen is Dusty Rhodes' wrestling boot. He has these boots custom made at the Austin Hall Boot Company out of El Paso, Texas. And the boot on the right of your screen is the regular wrestling boot that Dusty wears during his matches. The boot I have right here is a custom-made boot from the Austin Hall Boot Company that was sent to Dusty Rhodes. And from talking with these people in El Paso, Texas, and you can, if you feel it, you notice that it is reinforced, steel-reinforced boots up through here and down through here, much like construction workers' boots, steel-toe boots that you construction workers out there use. And this will also help protect Dusty. This is a specially made boot, and Doctor, I was wondering, is this boot going to hamper at all this cast that he has on his left ankle?
My thoughts were we need something that allows him to wear this protective device. And as long as the boot allows him some room to do that in, then he's really accomplishing two goals at once.
Well, the date, November 3rd, approaches us all, that Dusty Rhodes scheduled to come back to wrestle professionally again, and you're going to be on hand for that match, and after the match is over, you'll inspect the ankle to see if it's okay, and after it's over, you'll make a judgment to see if he can wrestle once again, and I guess we're all waiting to find out if he'll come back 100%.
Well, I'll certainly be interested in reevaluating his ankle and seeing if it's holding up for him.
The date approaches, November 3rd, for Dusty Rhodes.
All right. So, I mean, in addition to not having that Magnum TA Tully Blanchard I Quit match, we're never going to have Dusty Rhodes ever wrestle again after November 3rd, possibly. And I mean, if Trae took himself off mute, he'd agree with me, as Magnum TA wins this match in 10 seconds with a belly-to-belly suplex. And Trae still has not taken himself off mute. So I guess I'll just keep talking right now. I'm also going to check my phone to see if Trae's about to message me and say that he is having a problem. And I'm really hoping Trae's not having any issues, but also I'm like laughing now because like, oh, there you go. He's finally off mute. Trae, welcome back. Now he's back on mute. Great.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
there we go. Now I can.
Jeez. Okay, can I hear you say something?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Okay, first I thought my headphones went out, but then like Zoom crashed, but then it just fixed itself. And I don't know what happened. And now he's not it's not Karate Billy Graham, it's Hulk Hogan Billy Graham.
Yep. Hulk Hogan, Jesse Ventura. And hey, it's number one, Paul Jones.
Hey,
Gotta play
number
that.
one what?
The arm wrestling, you got to remember that Paul Jones, number one, is calling the shots. It's my additional $5,000 that we're talking about. And if you remember, you see Abdullah the Butcher standing in a ring right now. Well, there's a man that you're going to have to wrestle in this challenge match before you even think. No. You don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Let me tell you something right now. Shut up. Don't interrupt me. I got the microphone. One thing you're going to do, if you don't have the guts to get in that ring and wrestle him right now before the arm wrestling, then here's the microphone and you tell the people. Jones, let me tell you something. Let me tell that dude the Butcher something. Where is the Barbarian? I'm here to arm wrestle for $5,000 first on the contract. David Crockett knows it. You know it. Then I'll get in the ring and wrestle that fat slob from the Sudan. I want the Barbarian to arm wrestle first. Where is he? I don't know.
All right. Paul Jones is so awful, he's great.
Yeah. Superstar wants Bob Marion.
He wants the ball bearing. So they call this the Championship Challenge Series, and I don't know why, because unless I'm forgetting something, neither of these men are champions.
It's like how the Demon versus the Wall was the main event.
A special main event.
Yeah.
And Superstar Billy Graham was channeling his inner Lex Luger because his t-shirt was too tight too, Billy. I'm not expecting this to go to a 30-minute draw. but Abdullah's working the arm. And I mean, they're building up to an arm wrestling match with Superstar and the ball bearing.
Well, that
And
makes sense.
well, of course, it also makes sense that now Billy Graham is punching with that bad arm that Abby just beat up for a bit.
It didn't beat it
You
up
know,
enough.
yes. Obviously, wrestling was all airtight back in the day. You know, it's not like nowadays, all that phony stuff they do. Um, Billy Graham has got a very thick cord that he is
Uh,
simultaneously trying to choke Abdullah and fight the referee over. That
I'm
referee,
having
that what was that?
I'm having flashes of Cena versus Umaga. You remember that?
Yeah. See,
Oh,
I think this referee thought it was a shoot here. Might explain we may never see that referee ever again. I do not remember too many uh, African American referees back in the 80s. I gotta tell you, this match has already gone longer than I expected. So there's that. Can we just say, like, I always loved the TBS studio. You know, it's World Championship Wrestling, so it's not US Championship Wrestling. So we have the German flag, the Israeli flag, the Britain flag. You know,
uh-huh.
we're representing all the countries, all like six of them. But hey, that's five more than most companies would do.
Well, didn't like Mid-Atlantic TV have those in like the early 80s, or am I
Yeah, they
misremembering?
did. They did.
Yeah.
And that was also when my favorite TV title belt, when it was like that blue strap that would had all of the flags on it. I love that TV title
Uh,
belt.
huh. I don't remember that. Was the one that's no, Arn had the
It,
red one earlier, didn't he?
it just said it said World Championship Wrestling in the middle in blue letters, TV champion in
Oh,
red.
yeah, that one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
Okay, I know better than this, but when Billy Graham locked on the bear hug, I thought he was going for a belly to belly suplex. I would have loved to see
Uh,
Abby take a belly to belly suplex.
yeah. Think Abby ever took a belly to belly suplex?
No. Uh, Bi- Billy Graham drops the elbow. Instead of going for the pin, he's not trying to choke Abby. And there's the ball
Oh,
bearing.
there's Bob Marion.
Bob Marion has hit the ring to attack superstar Billy Graham for the disqualification. And now they're putting the boots to him. Paul Jones is holding down his legs. Abby's holding on his arms, and Bob Marion from the top rope with a flying headbutt. That son of
Wow.
a bitch. Now he's going to do it again. That man, Billy Graham, has a family, or at least he has a wife. I don't know. Does he have any kids?
I don't know. You think
Now,
never mind.
now the jobber crew hits the ring to try to make the save. I think that's Pez Watley there.
Does steroids affect your sperm count?
Probably. I mean, Hunter had three kids, so maybe not as much.
Well, yeah, but you notice like every time that they were trying to conceive, he got smaller.
Hmm.
Uh,
They did not try to have kids in 2002. They did try to have
no.
kids after I guess it was 2006 was the first kid. Did you see he had all three kids at the Hall of Fame, and like one looked just like Stephanie, one looked like a perfect combination of Stephanie and Hunter, and one was Hunter.
Funny how genetics
Like,
works, isn't it?
yeah,
So
it's
did the
like
one who looks like Hunter, bless her heart, did she get the nose?
yes, yes, she did.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. The and I think that's the youngest.
Oh.
Yeah. Can you imagine? And okay, we're gonna sound like real mean assholes right now. But can you imagine if Triple H's daughter, the one that looks like him, took on Brock Lesnar's daughter?
Oh.
Pez Whatley versus Benny Trailer. And yes, that was
Danny
Pez
Traylor.
Whatley who came in to help
Yeah.
superstar Billy Graham in the last segment. And
By the
Benny
way,
Trailer is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was one of my favorite things ever was, and I believe with my whole heart that this is 100% true because Scott Steiner is a lot of things, but dishonest is not one of them. That when he was in the WWE in like the early 2000s, they wanted him to go take a steroid test, and he said, "Okay, have Triple H pick me up in a limo, and we'll both go test together." And then he never heard anything else about it.
I believe it, but that was also, in the interest of fairness, that was before they had formal steroid tests.
Well, in between, I guess.
Yeah, because they stopped it in like 96, because that's when everyone blew up. And then they brought it back after Eddie Guerrero died, and then really enforced it after Benoit died.
Yeah.
By the way, Benny Trailer, in case for some reason you're only listening to us and not watching the perfectly spliced together video with this, it is not Ray Trailer with a different name. It is, in fact, a completely different human being.
Uh, did he like raid Junkyard Dog's tights or like leave them in the dryer for too long or something?
I imagine Dog probably sold them to him um, right around the time Dog gained 100 pounds.
Ah, well, that makes sense.
Hmm. Right around the time Dog put on some size to go against some of the big heavyweights in Mid-South. That's why he gained all that
Oh,
weight.
hey, that was a heavyweight territory.
Hmm. And then he kept putting it on more when he went to WCW in the late 80s. It's
We'll get
hilarious that
so. I'm sorry.
he was one of
Go
those
ahead.
people, Dog, that every time WCW had a change in bookers, they would re-sign him. Because if you go back and watch,
Yeah,
he's there in 89, 90, 91, and 92.
he was in '93 for a minute in a fucking random team with Jim Neidhart for like 2 matches.
That, everyone talks about the Iron Sheik getting that 2-year contract. Like no one, not enough people talk about Junkyard Dog. Because like at least with Iron Sheik, they just forgot about him, and that's how he accidentally got re-signed. Like fucking Junkyard Dog, they had to keep going out and re-signing him.
It makes me laugh how mad people get now about the fact that Dave called him junk food dog in the '80s.
People like getting mad for stupid reasons. Like have they gotten mad yet about Dave calling him the anabolic warrior?
Well, I don't know. I was gonna say that one's undeniable, but junk food dog was pretty damn undeniable too.
I mean I don't know. I mean I wasn't watching Junkyard Dog eat, but he was not having steamed broccoli for dinner.
I don't believe unless he was having 6 tons of it.
Well, even that 6 tons of steamed broccoli will at least be something.
You know,
I
I
do
had a
remember
brain
when.
fart. I had a brain
Mhm.
fart for a minute when Pez Wadley backdropped this fella, and I could just because he had the tights because we've been talking about dog. I thought for half a second like, God damn, dog is bumping.
I can't remember Pez Whatley's finish, so
Looking
um,
looking up at the lights.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's about to win because you know
Oh,
Benny
where did
Trailers.
I?
Benny Trailer is not really the Junkyard Dog, so I'm not expecting the big upset here. Man, they went all African American in this one. African American
Hey,
jobber, African American star, African American referee.
How about
and
that?
all the white people in the crowd sitting on their hands. I guess that one just clapped for Pez's drop
Oh,
kick.
God. Well, when did they start going to center stage?
Oh, not till '89.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The by 93 they're kind of annoying, but the like the inclusion of all the local black kids really like livens up the it's like the Memphis TV was the same way that like all the neighborhood kids would come down to the studio on Saturday morning, and if there was like space, they'd let them in. And the wrestlers would ask like, "Hey, how many locals are here?" Because when all the little neighborhood kids were in there, everything was way louder and hotter.
Hey, WCW Saturday Night was the best free babysitting service in Atlanta.
Yeah. Hey, I've heard some things about Atlanta. I heard there's streets there that the further down the block you go, the better it gets.
I know it's a song, but like it's not entirely untrue.
I have you heard the comedian Pete Holmes?
I mean, I know who he is, but I haven't gone out of my way to listen to any of his stuff.
I'll have to send you his clip about getting booked in a bad part of Atlanta called Atlanta.
I mean, I'll be honest, and I've said this when we went to WrestleMania 27, downtown Atlanta is a beautiful location. It's beautiful and clean and bright and vibrant. The second you leave downtown, it's like two entirely different cities. It is a dangerous hellscape. And Butch
The
Reed
last time that I went to
wow,
Atlanta,
wow. I got to stop myself. I just called him
oh,
Butch Reed.
oh,
Pez
oh,
Watley, who is not Butch Reed.
Butch Reed and the Junkyard Dog here on Mid South Wrestling.
Hey, they're in a studio. Um,
No, that's not Butch Reed. That's Bitch Steed.
um, I was excited because he put on a Boston Crab, and I thought that was his finish. It was
I
not.
the fucking New Japan Young Lions can put somebody away with a Boston Crab. Come on.
I'm like, I'm not speaking crap about Pez Watley here, but Jesus Christ. Okay, he wins with the cocoa butt. So what were you trying to say before I called Pez Watley Butch Reed?
Oh, I was the last time that I went to Atlanta was like 2015, and I was in such a bad mood about why I was there that I literally like I flew in, I took an Uber to my hotel, I took an Uber to the place I was going, I went back to my hotel, and I went back to the airport.
That good, huh?
It wasn't even Atlanta's fault. That was extenuating circumstances, but there wasn't anything in Atlanta to improve my mood.
So you didn't try going to center stage to see if you could get autographs with Marcus Alexander Bagwell and the Z-Man?
I don't think Marcus Bagwell has enough money to convince me to get his autograph.
That is tremendous. That popped me. JJ Dillon with Black Bart. I think this Black Bart is kind of a strange story. It's like he had size at a time when that's all you needed, and it seemed like nobody ever really used them. It's like I know he's here with JJ Dillon, and people are gonna think, "Oh, what do you mean he's with JJ Dillon?" But it's like JJ Dillon is not JJ Dillon at this point. JJ Dillon is a step above Paul Jones in the manager pecking order, and Paul Jones was always the low-level manager doing the never-ending feuds, at the
With
bottom of the
Jimmy
card.
Valiant,
Yeah. Um, so like Black Bart never really went anywhere, and he ends up in WWF, but he's there as a jobber. Um, and it's kind of weird.
look at his fucking forehead. It looks like ground beef. Fucking gig
Uh,
marks.
I mean, Starrcade 85 is coming up. You know, that might be the bloodiest show in wrestling history.
Yeah, might be. There's a lot of blood.
You talked about Shivani's mustache earlier. It's just, it's always hilarious watching this. And it's like, you go back and watch Starrcade 83. He is so fucking young. And let's go to Jim Crockett with Tony Schiavone.
Our Superstation Championship Challenge Series of next week, Jim.
One we just signed, Mr. James J. Dillon, in his quest to be Manager of the Year, has challenged Billy Jack Haynes, and he's going to put up his new superstar, Thunderfoot.
It's Thunderfoot with James J. Dillon against Billy Jack Haynes on our Superstation Championship Challenge Series for next week. Now stay tuned for this update on Starrcade 85.
Thunderfoot versus Billy Jack Haynes. Let's go to the Starrcade update.
One of those matches is for the World's Tag Team title. No disqualification inside a cage. The champions, the Russians, Ivan Koloff and Nikita Koloff, against the Rock and Roll Express.
No time limit, no disqualification. We will find out who is the better team. The Russians are the Rock and Roll Express. But, David, that's not all already signed for Starrcade.
That's right. We have the World Heavyweight Champion. We'll have that signing next week. We'll find exactly who the matchup's going to be. Also, the match for the National Tag Team title, the champions, the Andersons, Ole and Iron Andersons, against Billy Jack Haynes and Chief Wahoo McDaniels.
It very well may be the toughest test yet for the Andersons in that National Tag Team title, but not all. The Battle of the Bull Rope as Cowboy Ron Bass takes on Black Bart, but that's not all. If Bass wins that match during Starrcade, he has a bull rope match with James J. Dillon for 5 minutes. Right after that match, that is all a part of Starrcade 85, The Gathering.
The Gathering, the greatest gathering of the wrestling talent in the world. Jim Crockett's here to tell us more because we have some more exciting matches. Jim?
This week we'd like to announce the signing of a very special match, a Mexican death match. Manny Fernandez, the Raging Bull, is putting up his gorgeous sombrero against Abdullah the Butcher. And I know Manny doesn't want to lose this sombrero. We're discussing and have a commitment from Terry Taylor to defend his title, but we haven't been able to agree upon opponents yet. Jimmy Valiant wants to be a part of Starrcade. No announcement yet on that. But one thing that we need to solve, and that's Tully Blanchard and Magnum TA. This feud has been going on, and it's gotten totally out of hand. We'd like to look at some footage of how bad this has gotten out of hand.
Okay, let's take a look at what he's talking about.
Okay, so I don't know where to start with that. Billy Jack Haynes versus Thunderfoot.
Okay, so is it Thunderfoot 1 or Thunderfoot 2?
I would assume Thunderfoot won, because I mean
You'd
we don't
think.
we don't have the Thunder feet yet, just Thunderfoot.
The Thunder feet.
By the way, Magnum has just forced himself on a woman.
Yeah,
who
this
did
was
not-
the babyface spot in 1985.
Yes. I think we saw this when we were doing Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, or not Mid-Atlantic, but Worldwide a few years ago on this podcast. Yeah, now he rips off Baby Doll's dress. He just forced himself on a woman and then ripped her clothes off when she turned on his advances.
Now look at the chivalrous Tully Blanchard coming to the aid of his manager, whose virtue has been sullied by this Magnum TA.
The brother of the owner is attacking him for saving a woman.
I think he's got a lawsuit here if he wanted to.
I know. Maybe that's the real reason why Tully left wrestling, because, you know, we know how slow the courts are. Maybe he finally made some money off of that lawsuit.
He went to prey on it.
Wow. Wow. And considering what we see, I'm afraid to listen to what JJ, or not JJ, but Jim Crockett said. You ever notice Jim and David rarely talk to each other on this show? It's like Schiavone has to talk to both of them independently.
Well, what would be the point of them talking to each other?
Well, I mean, we have Jim on the show. Why is David never talking to his own brother?
Denny
Tully
Brown.
Blanchard, the United States champion, and Tully is pissed.
Championship inside that cage. I quit. I can't believe it. Pull it up. Ooh.
that might be the greatest thing I've ever seen. And apparently, uh, Jim Crockett has overruled Bob Geigel and has made the I Quit cage match for Starrcade. We
Nice.
we we may have to watch Starrcade. Um, but
By
yeah,
the way, Denny
Tully's beating.
Brown, former world junior heavyweight champion Denny Brown. Maybe the
Yep.
current one at this point. I don't know.
I'll be honest. He's getting more offense than I thought because like I was expecting Tully to do basically the Magnum TA squash match here, especially with how roid raged up he was. Um, so Ric Flair is going to defend the world title at Starrcade. I I don't know. He's got a lot of potential opponents. Who do you think he could possibly be defending against?
Ron Garvin,
Oh, that's
Giant
an
Baba,
interesting one. Saruta.
Saru,
Yeah,
yeah, Saruta,
yeah.
Kerry
Whatchamacallit,
Von Erich.
while we were talking about Ronnie Garvin, I wanted to bring this up. It is one of wrestling's great myths that Magnum TA was going to wrestle Ric Flair at Starrcade '86 for the world title. Because there's a number of things. First of all, they'd already announced on TV that it was going to be Magnum versus Nikita in like the final blow-off match of their feud.
Yeah.
But it was going to be Flair and Garvin for the world title at Starrcade '86.
By the way,
And then
uh, uh,
mhm.
unless he has lost the title and is going to win it back in the next couple of weeks, Denny Brown is still the world junior heavyweight champion.
Congratulations to Danny Brown. Although, even though he's the world junior heavyweight champion, he's not as good as the Alabama junior heavyweight champion, Mike Jackson.
Well, who is?
Not too many people. I think we need to make this our Friday Night Spot show for at least a few weeks. What do you say? We should watch this at least up till Starrcade and then watch Starrcade.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Are the episodes on here?
I know at least the next month of shows are on the WCW YouTube page. I don't know
Okay.
if Starrcade '85 is, but I'm sure it won't be impossible to find it.
I'm sure if we like at fucking WWE Vault, they'll upload it for us.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure they listen to this show because why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they? Exactly.
Um,
That was why we got that on Omni show that coincided with our Mid South and World Class.
our debut episode of the Friday Night Spot show. Um,
What a yeah.
by the way, the Mexican death match between Manny Fernandez and Abdullah the Butcher over Manny Fernandez's sombrero. At least,
Yeah.
and I don't know what Manny Fernandez where he's actually from, but at least you can argue that he is a Mexican, unlike when WCW did the Big Bubba Rogers Hugh Morris Mexican death match. Do you remember that? Your
I'm sorry.
silence implies that you
I'm
don't
sorry.
remember
I'm
that.
sorry. I was muted. No, when was that?
That was the NWO sold out pay-per-view.
Oh.
Big Bubba versus Hugh Morris in the Mexican death match.
Oh, can we watch that show if they put it up on the vault?
No. Oh Lord. That was just a colossal shit show. Here's Arn and Oli for like, isn't this the second time? Haven't we already heard from
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
I guess Oli's really upset that at Starrcade they got to wrestle Billy Jerk Haynes and Wahoo McDaniel. Or maybe he's
I
angry that
love
David called him the Ole Andersons and his opponent Wahoo McDaniels. This is
I love
McDaniel and
that
Anderson.
I love that red and silver TV belt.
It's a good belt. And actually, I think the story was that Arn wasn't even the TV champion. I think Dusty was the champion and Arn stole the belt.
You know, you may be right.
I always loved those '80s sunglasses that Arn always wore with like they were like
Yeah.
half tinted, but they were like fading into normalcy towards the bottom. I bet Ole's cutting
Kind
a
of
much
like,
better promo than Paul Jones cut, and we played Paul Jones promo and not Ole's.
I don't quite have 80 sunglasses, but mine are kind of big like that. Okay, let me see here.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Ole.
Arn does not officially become the television champion until January 4th.
And that's probably the reason why New Japan has the Tokyo Dome show on January 4th every year in celebration of Arn Anderson winning the TV title.
Cannot think of any other reason it could be.
No, not because it's a holiday or anything. Because isn't it like a holiday in Japan, January 4th?
It's like the week of like New Year is like a kind of holiday week in Japan.
Shota, Nikita Koloff with Uncle Ivan and Krusher Kruschev versus
Speaking
Matt
of great
Jeffers.
belts,
I
those
think,
NWA tag belts.
yeah, I think they're also the trios champions at this time too. And they haven't announced the match yet, but all three Russians are going to be in title matches at Starrcade.
Yeah, yeah. They announced Ivan and Nikita against the Rock and Roll Express earlier, but they have not announced Krusher Khrushchev versus Sam Houston for the Mid Atlantic Heavyweight Championship.
Yep, spoiler alert, but okay. Um, so Nikita, is kicking a lot of ass here. And the first time I watched Starrcade 85, I think it was like 2006, 2007. And I feel kind of stupid for saying this, and maybe it's because I didn't watch a lot of, this stuff until later on. I did not realize Krusher Khrushchev was supposed to be a Russian sympathizer when I was younger. I thought he was supposed to be a Russian until that show when he cuts a promo and he's talking in his Barry Darso voice.
Yeah, I think I had already seen him as like the Repo Man, so I knew who he was when I
Oh,
saw Starrcade for the first time.
oh yeah, I knew who he was. I just thought that he was supposed to be another
Oh,
Russian.
yeah. Okay, you just assumed he didn't talk, or he at least,
Yeah,
or he did like Nikita did and faked it.
and Ivan too, because Ivan didn't really have
Oh
that thick
yeah.
Russian accent.
Yeah,
I think
it's funny.
I think
What?
Brett in his book told a story about how he saw Ivan Koloff when he was younger and outed him as not Russian because he's like, "Oh, you're so and so. You wrestle in Minnesota," and he's like, "Shut the fuck up."
I remember this. I think Cornette told the story like one time on the Crockett plane. Nikita was doing the voice, and Arn goes, "God, it's just us."
I remember when I met Nikita Koloff, like I didn't want to sound like a stupid mark, but I was so thrown off that he was speaking like a normal person.
Destruction. That was destruction in the ring.
Flair! Nikita leg! How you heard American dream? But Nikita no leg. You still were champion. Why you not tell all people you only champion? Because of these David Crockett. Cause you get help from American referee. Ric Flair, for now, you world champion. Why Nikita, defense tag team title, and six-man title. Shut your mouth!
Nikita, Ivan, life is funny. Just last week, the Road Warriors come out here, talking big again. They're talking about how big, how strong they are, they can't be beat. Well, after we regain these world titles, where are you, Road Warriors? You're lost.
Krusher, you know, whether it's in Grafton, North Dakota, to Charlotte, North Carolina, to Tokyo, Japan, and all points in between, we're going to prove a point. And that point is, whether it's individual competition, tag team, or six-man tag team, we're willing and more than able to take on any combination or anyone. They talk about how strong this superstar Billy Graham is, this Billy Jack Haynes, this Road Warriors, big, strong, powerful Americans. But you can't see them signing contracts to wrestle against us because they're lacking on guts, that's right. I said it, American. And this Rock and Roll Express, they think they got us at the advantage because they got the strap inside the cage for the World Tag Team belt. Well, the cage match is the most dangerous match that there is. I've seen men get their ear tore off, come out of there with broken fingers, stitches all over their body. You better think again, Rock and Roll Express. You talk about Starrcade 85. It's going to be the end for you. Starrcade 85, Rock and Roll Express. You're going to find out why we are the true world champions.
We're coming back right after this.
Okay, I love Uncle Ivan, but it's really the most dangerous injury you could think of in a cage match, broken fingers. Also, what the hell is going on in Tokyo this week? Everybody's fucking talking about Tokyo.
Wasn't there another famous cage match? I'm thinking like a WWF cage match where Lawler or Ross said something about getting a finger caught in there, and the other one was just appalled that was what they came up with. You remember this?
A finger? Yeah, it was the Undertaker Big Boss Man Hell in a Cell match. Michael Cole
Yes.
said you could catch a finger in there.
Okay. Yes, that's right. Fucking Michael. Of course, it was Michael Cole.
By the way, it really says something that you can just randomly bring up. Didn't somebody say something about a finger? And I'm like, oh yeah, it was the Undertaker Boss Man Hell in a Cell match.
Oh, Arya, you put your chocolate in my peanut butter.
You put your peanut butter in my chocolate. Let's just hope Officer
I'm
Reese's
Officer Reese's.
By the way, why is the junkyard dog in the corner again?
Oh, why is he back?
I'm going to sound really bad because I didn't look at the graphic at the start of the match. I do not think that's the same person.
Oh, he has the same. Did he? Oh, it's not the same guy. This guy's got an afro. Did they? Do you think they're the same tights and boots? You think one just passed them off to the other when they got backstage? They only had one pair between them?
I mean, they had 20 minutes, so possibly. Oh, this is almost as bad as me calling Pez Whatley Butch Reed.
I mean, I'm willing to say that was an honest mistake, given that we were talking about Junkyard Dog and we watch a lot of Mid-South.
True, and that's only last year. Like, just to give you an idea, like, we're in spring of 84, and this is the fall of 85.
Yeah.
But you know what, like, also, like, that kind of kills my enthusiasm for wrestling is how much things stay exactly the same. I used to like, when I'd have my PWI year in reviews, don't ask me why I would think about this. Like, say I was reading the 1997 year in review, I'd think about how different wrestling was from January 1st, 1996 until December 31st, 1997. Like nowadays, like the past 20 years, if you were to compare the beginning of one year to the end of the next year, it'd probably be annoyingly the same.
It's crazy, like, how many people have been in WWE like 15 to 20 years now. I believe when I first started watching WWE, there would have been 3 people on the roster who had been there for 5 years or longer, being The Undertaker, Billy Gunn, and Bob Holly.
Pretty much. And like fucking Hogan's big run was 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I love these people, but like Kofi Kingston is approaching 20 years on the main roster. 20 years.
Russian Circle.
Mm-hmm.
Nikita about decapitated Afro here.
which is
Okay,
great because Nikita's
did
not even in the match. It's
yeah?
Ivan and
Oh,
Krusher
I've
Khrushchev.
Krusher. I'm sorry, Krusher Khruschev.
Now you're saying all white people look alike?
All bald people in communist singlets look the same.
There you go. That was a pretty nasty sickle right there. When do you think he learned to sickle? Because I mean, he's not using that in world class.
Oh, well, he probably didn't learn that until he met Uncle Ivan. He's not going to learn
Uh,
that from Nikolai Volkov.
well, by the way, notice how good I am at this job here. I just said he doesn't learn it in world class, which is true, but that's also not
Yeah,
we're it's also not the
Jimmy
promotion that he's in.
Jimmy
Jimmy
Valiant versus Jimmy Black.
and Jimmy Black is whiter than I am, and I'm pretty white. And Jimmy Valiant's got the shoulder lean on. That's an impressive lean there by Jimmy Valiant.
From a certain perspective, Jimmy Valiant is one of the greatest workers of all time.
I mean, you say that because, like, you get by with doing as little as possible. And there is a woman getting in the ring right now.
Ah, a
This
woman,
should
you
be
say?
this should be a disqualification, by the way. She just kissed Jimmy Valiant. Like, legitimately, like, Miss Atlanta Lively is a future world heavyweight champion.
Ugh.
Like, and by the way, there's your other disqualification. Here in this 2-on-1 handicap match against Jimmy Black.
The fucking knockout punch. It's so awesome.
And poor Miss Atlanta Lively, poor Jimmy Valiant.
I'm trying to, because I've seen that match, but it's been a long time. I remember a really great punch at Starrcade. I can't, like, did you punch Bobby? Did you punch Cornette?
What the
I
hell?
haven't
Let's
seen
go to
that in
Cornette now.
Oh, speaking of.
Changed hands on this show today that I've ever seen in my life. Valiant, he says he don't know who that street lady is. Who do you think you're fooling, Valiant? Shut up. Who do you think you're fooling? Everybody knows you got 6 or 8 old ladies, and that's one of them. That's the ugly one that you run off a couple of years ago. She's come back for child support or something, and you got her out there sticking her nose into our matches, trying to hurt the Midnight Express. Let me tell you something. First of all, Valiant, I know you had the whole thing planned because you're a dirty, yellow dog and you're a coward. But furthermore, poor Bobby, after last week, poor Bobby, his mouth ain't working right. I've got very seriously if it will for a couple of weeks, and I'm mad about that. He can't even talk to me. Do you realize that, Tony Schiavone?
He went down like a bullet. I mean, he was right out.
Don't rub it in. I couldn't believe it when I saw that big, huge, I don't know what, come out of nowhere. Well, let me tell you something, Valiant. You may have got one on the Midnight Express this time, but I know that you had the whole thing planned on.
Jimmy Valiant!
Hey, it's the Road Jack! Where's that old lady at, brother? She's the toughest broad that I have ever seen in my life. People, help me. Man, I want to send a letter to the boogeyman. Hey, send it to Santa Claus. Send it to the FBI. Send it to anybody. I just want that lady with me. That lady's mine. That lady's street people. That lady's down, baby. Oh, I love her to death. Did you see that punch?
She knocked him right out. I mean, she knocked him all the way across the ring.
Oh, man, Michelle, what a kisser, too. Oh, what a kisser, baby. Hey, I think a little bubble gum or something she got on there, brother. Hey, Tutti Frutti, little
You want to
Tutti
take a
Frutti.
look at it again?
Yeah, please, man. Well, she looks good, huh? Hey, Tony.
Let's take a look
roll
at
it,
her
brother.
once again.
Yes, sir.
The lady
Hey,
came right out
I
of
think I'm
nowhere.
in love.
Now, there are a lot of people named Jimmy in this segment.
Handsome strikes me as a guy that he's probably pretty flexible. Like, I'm sure he was with some women in the day, but probably a couple of men slipped in there too, and he was just cool with it.
No doubt. No doubt. Like, I totally believe it. Now, here's the thing. If this happened, 5 years ago, would Vince McMahon allow Jimmy Valiant, Jimmy Black, and Jimmy Cornette to be in the same segment?
Oh no, there would have to be I don't know, Orville Cornette.
Orville. And it's like, and everyone remembers like Shane Helms had to change his name because they didn't want him to be confused with Shane McMahon. And like C.W. Anderson had to become Christopher W. Anderson because they didn't want to confuse him with the CW network.
Wow.
Oh God. And that's how the show ended, by the way, with Jimmy Valiant kissing Tony Schiavone.
Where do you go from
Oh
there?
yeah. It's nothing but downhill from there. But actually, like, and people will like remember the Shane Helms thing and everything. Do you remember the build to WrestleMania 21 with John Cena and JBL, where they stopped calling him anything but JBL? He wasn't John Bradshaw Layfield. He was just JBL because otherwise we'd have two Johns in the match. We
Well, here's the
cannot
thing,
have that.
Arya. Everybody who watches wrestling is fucking stupid and can't understand like anything.
Oh, God. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna try to keep this up, watching more NWA World Championship Wrestling, WCW Saturday Night, however you want to call it, on the road to Starrcade 85.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yes. That was like an hour and like 15 minutes because, when they take out all of the stuff that WWE doesn't want to tell us, like, promoting live events and shit, because really that's all they took out. But yeah, Starrcade 85 is funny for such a legendary show. The matches we've so far announced for the most part are such like random ass matches. It's like,
Well, I
the
mean,
Andersons versus Billy Jack Haynes and Wahoo McDaniel. Uh,
yeah, that's
the
pretty.
Mexican death match with Manny Fernandez and Abdullah the Butcher. Black Bart versus Ron Bass in a bull rope match, where if he wins, he gets a 5-minute bull rope match with J.J. Dillon.
Hmm. Yeah, but I don't know. The Dusty and Flair match is like I don't know, famous for not good reasons. This was like I don't know. That one is one of those that that was too much even as a Dusty finish.
It was, I mean, but at the time you got to remember they don't. I mean, I can't say it never did one, but it's like this is before it gets overdone. This is still like, when the Dusty finish was new.
Yeah, that's true. It would have been
But
great if they'd not done it again for fucking 10 years. But pretty soon,
mhm.
Dusty's doing it every other week.
Yep, it's okay, baby. No one remembers that.
Oh.
All right. So I guess it's time to wrap things up because I got some editing to do before, going to bed. And Jay's cooking dinner for me tomorrow night. It's the first
All
time
right.
he's ever made me dinner, so that should be
What is he
interesting.
cooking? Do you know?
He does not know yet.
Oh, let me know. I want to give me a full report.
I told him that, like, honestly, he could make a cheese sandwich, and I'm fine with that. It's like just, being with him is what'll be the important part.
Oh, you're
I know.
sickening. You know that?
I know. We've been together 20 days, 21 days as this show drops. Um, and whatchamacallit, we had our unofficial fourth date last night. His tire popped, and I drove out to sit on the side of the road with him while we
Aw,
waited for AAA. I know.
too cute.
We're cute.
Very.
Anywho,
When are we gonna
so
get him on the show?
probably never. I still have to convince him to watch wrestling. Actually, he's going to an indie show with me next week.
Oh
So
wow. All right.
yeah, we'll see how that goes. But
That'll be
all
fun.
right, so that's gonna do it for the Friday Night Spot Show. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if not, too bad, because if if we stopped doing stuff because people didn't like it, this show would have ended 100 episodes ago.
Yeah. Even this one that we've only done like 6 episodes of, there would be
Yes,
negative 94 Friday Night Spot shows.
yes, y'all would not know what you're missing in life without the Friday Night Spot Show. And imagine this started because Trae and I were bored one night.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Hope you all enjoyed the show. And we'll talk to you again in 7 days.
Bye.